I just heard somebody say you are truly divinely favored or divine's favorite or something like that. But you know how they always tell me that I'm their favorite. But that's not, I mean, what it really is it obviously doesn't play favorites. It's an energy. It's not like that. It's like, we do feel more special, right? The more connected we are, but it's more than that. I know I'm just having a hard time verbalizing what you're showing me. It's how willing are we to swallow our own truth? Thank you. It's like, I've had to face a lot of things about myself and where I was coming from, what lens I had on, and how it was distorting my own truth and manipulating my reality and hurting me along the way. And so it hurts because I'm not fully connected, but it doesn't hurt when you're fully connected, right? So it's that idea. It's like we have to clear our own lenses, our own perception, our own reality by swallowing our truth, seeing clearly, taking a good hard look, looking at our shadows, see what's really leading the way, and smashing those identities and egos, right? That need for exterior validation, acceptance, all these things, recognizing them for what they are. And so it's like you can be God's favorite. Again, just words people say. Is that how you depend on your definition of things? That can sound actually incorrect, right? It really depends on your, nonetheless, it was simply just showing that, like, essentially you do seem or appear more favored when you're willing to be honest with yourself and swallow those hard truths. And a lot of people are not willing or aren't capable. It's almost like their ego is so much stronger. It's what breaks them. So they have a mental break. They go insane. They have all these accidents. They get addicted to all types of things. I mean, it starts to become really wonky up in here because their ego is so much stronger than their truest heart's desire. Their ego to be right is much stronger than their desire to feel good. And so it'll break them. It'll make them go insane. It'll make them do all types of things. They'll lose it. And so then it's the idea of then they lose favor, right? Then they are not favored, right? Because they're not willing to take a good, honest look. And so they remain. And some people, idle, thank you. Some people will idle at a place. Like they're showing some people who they don't slip into the world of addictions or insanity, but they also don't rise up to their divinity, to all that they could be. They stay stuck and stagnant and unhappy, but almost aware that if they can just maintain, if they can just stay idle, that they can get on through. But that's why they're staying idle and not elevating, because they're not allowing. They're not swallowing the hard truths about themselves. They're just not facing them at all. It's like the idea of burying your head in the sand. That's what it's like. Just bury your head in the sand. And so then they'd never become a favored, right? They're not favored. They're not a favorite. They're not getting blessed. They're not getting, they're not benefiting. They're not all these things. But this is why, right? So maybe it's a better way to say it, but it does boil down to people just making cliche sayings like, oh, you're God's favorite, or you're highly favored, or you're blessed, or you're whatever. And that can be seen in many, 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 many different ways, right? It doesn't always have to be monetarily, but that usually is how we identify in this 3D realm. But you can be, of course, rich in spirit, rich in all types of ways. And that blessing, that favoritism, that whatever comes from your ability to swallow truth, to see your blind spot, to integrate and to do the hard work, to flip upright, to go, moving from your north node, to smash those identities and egos, the willingness to do that work, but also to be teachable, right? And that could be really challenging if you've always been stuck and stagnant. You think you're teachable, you think you're learning, you're trying, you're efforting, but you just can't see. You're not doing it. You can't do it. You can't face it. And again, that's the pivoting point. Are you going to let the ego win? Or does your desire to feel good win? And so you let down the guard and open up more and more. And again, that looks different for so many people, and this is why you don't need to argue with anybody outside of you or justify anybody outside of you, because nobody knows you like you, and they could be coming from a very different level and understanding a lot of what I'm saying at a very different angle and a very different perception, and so they can't even hear what I'm saying, and they'll want to drag you down back into the muck of asking irrelevant questions and tangoing with just lower energies of debate, which is just their ego, and it can become exhausting, and ultimately it can tear you from your own alignment, right? Where it's like, it's not even worth it, right? Like they can either hear or they can't, and that's up to them. That's up to them to do that work and to go inwardly and to recognize and face those truths so that they too can be blessed. They can be favored. They can be uplifted. They can reconnect. And so again, it's up to each individual person. It truly is. Nobody can do it for you. They can help guide you back to you. Yet you are the one who has to face you. You're the one who has to know you. You're the one who has to swallow those hard truths. And you are the one who has to stand in your authenticity. If you're relying on anyone or outside of you to prop you up, to save you, to come, all these things, you're going to turn blue. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening. You can now purchase an audio journey with me using the link below.